Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to review week 9 of the NFL season and I guess the Sportsdeck Dream Team. So a bit of a low scoring week it would seem with 441. It said the average score was 502, so I think there's a little error there. But you can see we were top 50 ranked for the week and we've now pushed up into the top 100 overall. So guess that was the goal getting into the season, was that top 100 finish. So we've got up to that rank. Now it's about holding it, and that's easier said than done with only 8 trades left and still half the season to go. But if we have a look at the team and how they went, congrats, yep, lovely, thank you. So our quarterbacks continuing to carve up. Josh Allen with a 50, Jalen Hurts with 51, so slightly missed out in terms of the captaincy there, but 1 or 2 points, or 1 point, once you take or add 1 to Jalen's score, I suppose. Excuse me. Is probably not worth getting upset about. Badger 37, so it looks really good again, but may have to consider that Justin Fields is back this week. I forgot to actually check before the recording. But, we will wait and see, I think, on that. Our running back, Saquon, with the 25 was decent. Taylor, we trade in with a 30, so that's, what we hope to get from JT. Jerome Ford with the 19, he's looking pretty good. Bijan with the 9's been a bit disappointing. And then McCaffrey on the bye, Kyron Williams still on the IR, so didn't have much choice there with Bijan, but we might be able to sort that out this week. Wide receivers, so AJ Brown with the 32 has been solid. Tyreek with a 16, obviously not his best performance, but he's not going to knock out 40s every week as much as we would love to see it. Chase with a 12, thought he might do a little bit better, but that's okay. Diggs with a 39 has been awesome. CeeDee Lamb with 45, he's a jet. Addison with a 15 has been solid. Obviously, missing Kirk Cousins a bit, but Dobbs looked pretty good. So, we might keep the faith with Addison. Zay Flowers with a 3. It just wasn't his day, but we're not stressing about that. And Jameson Williams didn't play, so the Lions were on a bye. So that's the reason behind that. Travis Kelce, bit of an off day for him with just a 5, but everyone's allowed one bad game once in a while. Musgrave carried the load for the tight end room with 25, got a touchdown. And that's all we sort of had him in here for, was for those 2 weeks where Laporta and then now Kelsey's out with the bye. So he's done the business for us in 1 week. Can't ask for too much more than that. Kicker, Mooney was on bye, so we went with Aubrey and that was fine. And the Cowboys' defense wasn't fantastic, but it was still better than the Bears. So we'll cop that. Might have a bit of a look and see where the points were, if any, because it did seem like it was a decent enough week in terms of the scoring, but yeah, like 39 to 37. I know Stroud would have been massive, 83. So how many people got Stroud, I wonder? It says here somewhere. No, can't see it. Selection. So in 220 or 10% of teams. Nice. Frustrating, it always goes back. So Pittsburgh, Tennessee probably wasn't too much on. Deontay Johnson, top scoring. Have him in my redraft league, so I was happy he got a touchdown. Kansas City, Miami, so low scoring considering their attacking outputs. But Mahomes top scoring with 30. The kicker from Atlanta getting 38 sort of says a fair bit about Atlanta. But Dobbs 49, he looked really good. So yeah, he's well up. He's made 10 million this year, so Uh, it could be a sneaky pod, but not at that price. There's no value in the pick. Baltimore, so just sharing the love all around. So I guess Lamar Jackson going off in the first half, or was it the first half? About half time, I think. Huntley came in and did the business. Mitchell getting a touchdown, great to see. Cleveland, so all on their defense, obviously with Arizona scoring zero, that's a fair call. Kyler Murray can't come back quickly enough for the Cardinals. Green Bay 20-3 over the Rams, so Aaron Jones did all right, but not much there. The Texans, like we talked about, Tank Dell, he's been carving as well. Rashad White, so we did pick him at the start of the year. He's finally sort of turned the corner, I think. If you've held, congratulations. Another low scoring game here, so Ramondre Stevenson did okay. Um, that's about it. Sam Howard, solid as ever. New Orleans 24-17, Taysom Hill. I know a few people like him because of his ability to get that touchdown upside, but just I guess doesn't feature frequently enough. He's just that bit part player that doesn't do a great deal. Komet's an interesting one. He's looked really good with Badgett in the team, but he may regress once Fields comes back. The Colts defense scoring well against Carolina. No probably surprise there. Josh Jacobs, he's come good. Might be one to consider for the rest of the season. Under 13 mil, and pretty sure he'd be highly ranked. So um, ranked 31 for the season. We'll have a look at the season rankings. Oh, fourth for running back. There we go. So fourth in the season at 13 mil, pretty decent value. Um, that's gone back to week 10. Where we're we up to Philly Dallas was a bit of a tense one. So the quarterbacks did well. Their wide receiver ones did well. Ferguson got a touchdown. He was my tight end this week with Laporta on the bye in my redraft league, so I was cheering about that. The rookie tight ends have been doing me solid this year. Allen and Burrow doing well for Bengals and Bills. Makes sense. And the Chargers didn't actually see this game. It was Melbourne Cup Day, so I was watching the horses run around. But Eckler doing well. Chargers defense killing it against the Jets. You probably expect that. But yeah, I guess all in all, it wasn't the highest scoring week, so I guess it means our score makes a bit more sense. Actually, I should have gone to the head to heads as well. So week 9 got the $5 foot long by about 40 points. Let's see who got me over the line. Looks like maybe Jalen Hurts over Mahomes was a good pick. Jonathan Taylor over, say, Kamara. That's probably the difference. Brown and Olave is close. Kincaid and Musgrave even out. So it's just a bit of luck, I think, got me over the line there. But looking at the other scores, so yeah, I guess $5 foot long will feel a bit unlucky. $3.99 would have beaten anyone else this week, but fortunately, I'm just getting the luck at the moment. So let's go on to next week. Go back to week 9. So Austin Hecklers, they've been going well. Got the job done against Wacko Jacko. So captain Josh Allen still, well, they're missing someone. Who was missing? Oh, I didn't have a kicker. Oh, that's interesting. I guess probably not one you want to waste a trade on, but could have maybe made the difference. Dropping dimes been going well. 363. So just having a look. So Captain Allen, I think, was the difference, whereas son of Brady, Captain Herbert. So yeah, would have pushed him closer. having the Bears defense isn't ideal. Obviously, the 49ers defense on bye sort of stitch up there. And the Bin Chicken's getting a rare win despite not really playing anyone. So what happened to Timmy's caddy? Going the pod captain on Kamara didn't quite work out. Having Lamar and Tua, that's a stiff combination this week. Kelsey, obviously. Tyreek, not much. Josh Downs, that was another unfortunate one. The Bills defense not doing much. There you go. Just one of those weeks where nothing really worked out. A lot of players on bye too for Timmy's caddy. So and also the bin chickens. All right. So I guess in terms of this week, got a few blue dots here which we need to consider. So we'll just put Badger in. Gonna have to play Flowers and Williams, but that's fine. Laporta. We have our choice here. Um, so I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, McCaffrey's got to come back in, so probably for Bijan. Let's be honest. Atlanta are struggling, although they play Arizona this week. Don't know if that's one worth watching, but maybe. Who's Cleveland got? The Ravens. Um, don't know. Because I guess if we know Badgen is playing, we do have the option of sort of getting that final running back piece in. Um, and yeah, looking at the season on total points, so McCaffrey's a clear leader. Mostert's on bye this week, but he's been killing it for the Dolphins. Travis Etienne's an interesting one, but is super expensive. Jacobs, as we said, presents that bit of value. I guess they've all sort of drifted to about this price. We look at Jacobs, Moss, and Swift. Yeah. Derrick Henry, he hasn't really got that upside that he used to have. Kenneth Walker, coming off a 4 point game, might be worth passing on. Gus Edwards, not sure what's going on there at Baltimore. So I guess really when we look at it, maybe a Brees Hall or a Rashad White perhaps as that point of difference type option. They're definitely thinking about Rashad White, if I'm being honest. Pollard, hopefully he can turn it around. Jameer Gibbs is an interesting one. I guess, quite popular, quite well owned. Um, should have a good break even too, I imagine. Yeah, negative 36 after that massive game against, well, two big games in a row. So looking at the money, we could maybe do Gibbs and not quite Jacobs. That's close. I mean, we could do Gibbs and then like Rashad White and just flip between them. Obviously, Kyron Williams will come back into the mix too, so that's something to consider. Um, yes, I mean we could run with that, and our running backs are pretty well set for the end of the year. I suppose if we did want to get after a Jacobs type, 9.6, we could go with Brian Robinson as that emergency sort of play. Um, who else is in that price range? James Cook, the Bills is maybe worth something. After that, not interested in Madison, not interested in the Pittsburgh guys, not interested in Hunt or Javante. Chuba Hubbard could be a cheap option, seems to be running back one at Carolina, but that's still running back one at Carolina. Um, the other option is, trade right down to say a Kelly. that sort of thing. Just realised that's the player that I've skipped over somewhere. Austin Eckler. So at 14 mil, yeah, something like an Eckler would be alright. Negative. So he's bottomed out in price. I would have thought off the back of a 39. So yeah, had that 10 and 16, which stunk him up. But I guess recovering from that injury he had, so it makes sense. But he looks back into full fitness, so you could go him, and then we would be sort of going for a Chuba Hubbard type or a super. You could go someone like a Kelly as a couple for him. Don't really like that play though. Um, yeah, nothing really jumps out. You could just go bottom dollar like a Roshan Johnson type pick, Rico Dowdle maybe. Say the player that at the cheap price might be worth something. I must have missed. Gotta go up a bit more. Might have to just search for it. Not there. So it's Elijah Mitchell. So 3.7. So just purely as cover. I guess if we're going to go big in Austin, we could go with Keaton Mitchell. So just realise he hasn't moved yet, so he'll make a little bit of cash. Um, yeah, so don't know how his job security is, but we could just do that. A few mil in the bank. Um, yeah, I guess the other sort of option, if we were to, we can do that in one trade. That's very interesting. I guess the other thing we might need to consider is if, I don't want that anymore. Clear the filter. Is if Badgett is out with Fields back in, we might need another quarterback. Um, so I guess the obvious choice for that cheap option is Levis. He didn't have as great a game in game two as he did in game one. So negative 48 break even just means he's gonna make a few mil off the bat. What's that considering projected score of 19? Easy enough for a quarterback. I guess Pittsburgh's defense is a bit tougher than Atlanta. And then looking at the schedule, they got Carolina, which is a nice matchup in a couple of weeks. I don't think Tampa's got the strongest defense. Couple of tough ones there leading into the playoffs, but by then, Allen and Hurts will have their buys. Um, actually, when would we need him to play again? I think round 13 is Allen's buy. Let's have a look. Yeah, round 13. So we'd have to play Levis against the Colts. They've got a decent defense, so don't know. I mean, it's probably better than having a zero. Let's be honest. And then a couple of games against Houston, but they've looked a lot better this season. It's probably not worth writing home about. So I mean, that's one option. Aiden O'Connell, I guess I did talk about him as an option a couple of weeks ago. It looks like yeah, they're done with Jimmy G, but not scoring big. But plays the Jets this week. Has the buy in round 13, so that sort of means it's difficult to cover Allen. And they've both got the buy, so we might pass on O'Connell. Maybe someone like a DeVito for the Giants. Yeah, so he's. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, so he's played 2 games now. So again, not available round 13. All signs are pointing to Will Levis. Jaron Hall looks like Josh Dobbs is going to be the man there now. Clayton Tune, Kyler Murray should be back this week, so that's fine. Yeah, and after that, there's really not much going on. So yeah, I think everyone else is a bit too expensive. If we do the Eckler trade, I mean, what can we afford if we go all out? 12 mil. So start at the top, maybe get lucky. Wouldn't have thought so. Uh, Not even a Stafford. Mac Jones is out. Can't even afford Desmond Ritter. That's a bit sad. Bryce Young, nah, pass. Pickett, no. Zach Wilson, no. Richardson would be lovely, but no. Tannehill, he's not playing. Tyrod Taylor's not playing. Uh, that's it. So it's literally just the same list. So probably not worth stressing over. So I guess if we went Badgent to Levis, and then we also want to get on a bit of Austin Eckler. Can find him. It's a bit hard in the full player list. Go by average. He'd be fairly high on the averages, wasn't he? There we are. So 5.6. So we could get out of Bijan and go with Eckler. And Ford's serviceable in that sort of RB6 type role. Yes, we could do something like that, I suppose. Yeah. So I guess we've got the Chicago defense. When's Chicago's bye as well? Yeah, so Chicago's another team with a bye in round 13. So we probably don't want to hold Badgen anyway because he's not going to cover for Allen, whereas Levis will. I'm pretty sure the Titans have already had their bye. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, so if he is the starter this week, we'll lock that in. Eckler will come on for Ford. So that's a pretty sweet running back room there with a couple of decent options off the bench. Obviously once we bring these two guys back in, we might look at upgrading Addison. What's his break even? 35. So he might sort of stick in price. Same sort of deal with Flowers. So you got 20 mil to spend, or what's that? Take 3 mil off for a bottom dollar cheapie. 17 mil to spend on a wide receiver next week, and the team is pretty much done. So I guess just setting the rest of it up this week. We've covered, tight ends obvious. The defense is an interesting one because Chicago do play Carolina, good chance of some points, but Dallas are playing the Giants, so we'll stick solid with Dallas. Um, Moody's got Jacksonville this week. Him or Aubrey. Might just stick with Aubrey given the average. But yeah, the Giants' defense is pretty decent, so there might be a few field goals for him. So then it's just captain, vice captain. Obviously, I think Josh Allen is captain, given him over Levis for sure. And playing the last game too is nice. Might even give us a rare chance of using the loophole. When's Tennessee play? So 4 a.m. So I guess the regular sort of Monday morning game. So I could probably wake up, have a look. If Levis has popped off with the 50 plus, might even, activate the loophole this week. So that's perfect. But you imagine Buffalo against Denver? Although Denver has improved recently. Um, I think Josh Allen will be pretty solid. So it would have to be, quite a high score from Levis. Like I said, 50 plus. We'll lock in the VC on him. Or do we go a bit more like a McCaffrey against Jacksonville? I think Jacksonville's okay. What about the wide receivers? Anyone jump out? Chase has got Houston. Yeah, I think we'll just play it that. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to have a chance, and I think that's our best chance. So, yeah, so that's how the team's looking. Obviously, this 6 trades left means, we're going to play for luck in the back half of the season to keep that top 100 rank. But I think that seems to be the key to success in any of these sorts of games. is go hard early and then just play for luck. If you sit and wait for moves to come up out of the ground, it's probably not going to happen. Actually, that's what we should have done is the break evens. World's longest video. Apologies for that, but I want to get all the goodness out. So break evens for this week. So Will Levis is at the top. So I think that is the trade. Even though Badgent's got quite a good negative break even, I'm just not sure when Fields is back. So I should have done the research before. But that's how we go. Jameer Gibbs, good break even. So I mean, if I wanted to go the two running backs this week, I think he'd definitely be in the conversation for one of them to bring in. Keaton Mitchell, need to do some more research on his long-term prospects before committing to that money-making trade. Jake Ferguson, he's going to get a nice boost in cash. So if you are looking for a tight end, he would be the number one pick. He's got a pretty good quarterback thrown to him, and other assets around him which could see some targets funneled his way. The Raiders defense, if you're looking for a defense this week, between them and the Colts, I think with the matchups, they're both actually pretty good matchups. So maybe the Colts at the cheaper price would be the go. Um, yeah, Chargers defense, a few defenses on the top. DeVito, I'd rather Will Levis, more job security, I think. CD Lamb, so if you want a gun wide receiver, he's the number one target. Rashad White, we've talked about. So him and Gibbs, those two sort of mid-range options. Probably prefer Gibbs over White, but flip of a coin. Kate Otten, bit of a pod tight end, perhaps. Stroud, yeah, if you're looking to go for a cheaper option at quarterback, he's looked really good. Yeah, I think he was the cheapie to get at the start of the year, clearly, based on the price rise, the break even, the average, the whole lot. Just, I guess, one that got away from us. And after that, nothing too interesting. Maybe Dell, if you're looking for a wide receiver in that price range. After that, OBJ, probably just, it was his week. Yeah, cool. All right, we could sit and look at this all day, but I guess big break evens too. So Mahomes is going to leak some cash on the buy this week. Might be worth a trade back in if you believe in him. Kelsey's a hold. Lamar depends on the injury. Mike White, legend. Don't know who would have him. Winston didn't play, so that's fine. Tyreek's on a buy but hold. Cooper Cup on a buy but averaging 22, break even with 61. Might be worth a sell. Jefferson will be interesting to see what they do now that they've got Dobbs in. Whether they just roll the season out or if he does make a comeback. Yeah, after that, probably not too much to concern ourselves with there. All right, well that's the video. As always, if you've got any thoughts or comments, feel free to get them down below this video. If you enjoy the NFL content, remember give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel for all of the fantasy content. It's just going to keep coming. And other than that, it's time to hit the outro.